So part 2 of the Uncut and Raw. And this is basically questions about me and Chris. I go into a little bit more detail than last time when me and Chris aired that we were splitting up. So here we go. Let's get into it. What was the main reason why you and Chris decided to go our separate ways? Marriage and kids. Just that simple. I wanted kids. I wanted to get married. That's something that he didn't want. And when two people, the marriage and kids is not a compromise. It's either a yes or a no. And in his mind, he was sure that 100% sure that getting married and having kids was something that was not in his plans, wasn't his short-term plans, wasn't in his long-term plans. He just wanted it to be me, him, boyfriend and girlfriend forever with Bruno. And I wanted a little bit more than that. I felt that in my heart, I felt that I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be a mother to human babies, because I am a mother to my baby Bruno, but I wanted to be a mother to human kids. I wanted to keep, my legacy. I wanted to have a family, and I'm a very family oriented person. And that was something that I wanted and he didn't want, and that's fine. So we decided to just go our separate ways. There's no need to keep wasting years of time thinking that he's going to change or I'm going to change, because we both in our 30s. None of us is going to change when it comes to stuff like that. Now, we might compromise and maybe make some decisions and trying to work with each other. But when it comes to marriage and kids, like I said, there is no compromise, either a yes or a no. How did I move on from Chris? I'm not really 100% moved on from Chris. I've just accepted the fact that we're not together. But as far as me moving on, like, oh, I'm done, I'm going to go mess with some guy, I'm going to go get another man. No, I'm not there yet. And it's going to take a while. We were together for 4 years, but I'm not moved on emotionally. And yeah, I'm just not there yet. Do you see yourself getting back with Chris? To be honest, I don't know. There's times where I want to be with him again, and then there's times where I'm like, no, because I want to get married and have kids. It's just that simple. I am not going to sacrifice me being unhappy just so I can just be with that person. And he's not going to sacrifice him being unhappy just so he can just be with me. If getting married and having kids is going to make him miserable and make me happy, that's not fair. It's not fair to him. And if you think being with him and knowing that I'm not a wife and I'm not a mother, I'm just a girlfriend with a dog, and that's not going to make me happy. It's not enough love in the world to sit there and sacrifice each other's happiness because we can't see each other with nobody else. That's unfair to each other. So no. What would I do if I knew the outcome of the relationship sooner? Man, I probably wouldn't have got too deep involved, but I probably would have stuck with him because he introduced me to a lot, and there were good times and there was bad times, and I love him. I still love him, and I don't think I would have stopped dating him, but I do believe that I would have been a lot more cautious, and I think that I wouldn't have made him a priority. I would have made myself a priority. Sometimes women, we get so caught up in our relationships and our boyfriends and our husbands that we forget that we are important as well. And that's what happened. Thoughts about Chris going out to the clubs during and after breakup? Well, I could care less because we're broken up. It don't bother me. When we were together, of course, it bothered me. I see people in the comment section, oh shit, Denise, she's so strong. How does she do it? She got, Chris got him a down ass chick. She don't care if you go to the club. Pump your brakes. It's not that I did not care that Chris went to the club. I cared that he always went to the club every weekend. You can't be a family man Monday through Thursday and then want to be a bachelor Friday through Sunday. No, that don't fly. You get to pick. You got to pick. Either you're a family man all day, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Or if you want to be a bachelor, you'll be a bachelor all day, every day, 7 days out of a week, 365 days a year. You don't get to play both. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to play both roles. He was trying to be a family man and then turn around and be a bachelor. And the thing about it is that I didn't mind that he went out with his friends, but going to the club every weekend, why you couldn't include me? Why couldn't you take me? Going to trips to LA and then, and then tell me that, oh, I'm going to LA for business, and then I turn around and look at your Instagram and your YouTube and it's nothing about you being in the club? Like, how do you think I'm supposed to feel being at home taking care of your business and you're out bullshitting around and you can't even invite me? Like, I'm going to feel some type of way. And I did. I felt some type of way for a very long time. So, it did bother me that he was always out in the club and about doing whatever, I don't know, and as a woman, even if it was reversed, say that I was going out every weekend, he would feel some type of way too. So, I was entitled to feel the way that I felt. Did you gas up Chris to leave my man Vince? Okay, so the question is, did I have some type of reasoning why Chris left Vince? No, I did not have any say in Chris making a decision for him to step away from Vince. Vince was fucking lazy. Yes, I had my inputs and I said my thoughts, but Chris made his own decision. He was his own man. Did I think Vince was lazy and a moocher and a leech and he leeched off Chris? Yes. The times that Vince was supposed to be out, helping Chris, he wasn't there. I was picking up the slack that Vince was doing. You know what I'm saying? When Vince should be the one at the gym recording, when Vince should be the one answering emails, when Vince should be shipping out POG shirts and shit, I'm doing it. Why? And why is he getting half of the money? Why isn't it not in our pockets? Why isn't I here in this house when we do literally 90% of the work? Y'all know y'all know the story. You've seen it. I didn't have to have an influence in Chris. I made my points. Chris made his own decision. He know what's up. He's not stupid. He knew that he was being taken advantage of. I had nothing to do with that. It just so happened that when I came into the picture, they started to have their little disagreements. But nobody knows that Chris and Vince have had their issues way longer than what y'all thought. And before they even put it on TV, before they even put it on YouTube, that they've had the discussion about Vince being lazy and not helping out with the channel way before I even had input in anything. So sorry, boy, for whoever asked that question, that did I gas him up? No, did not. Chris is his own man. He gonna do what the fuck he want to do when he want to fucking do it, and ain't nobody gonna tell him or convince him otherwise. So no. Was it hard dating a bodybuilder? It is very hard to date a bodybuilder. Like I said in my part 1 of my Raw and Uncut, being a bodybuilder is a selfish sport. You have to learn how to sit behind and let them be selfish, because that sport requires a lot of me time. If you ever notice, any big pro bodybuilder do not have either a significant other, and if they do have a significant other, they didn't last long. They either get, divorced, they broke up, they moved on, or they're completely single. It's a very selfish sport. You have to be very comfortable in your own skin to let them be all about them, and you'll be okay with that. So dating a bodybuilder was very difficult, but I give kudos to the women who stick with their man who are with bodybuilders, because it's not easy. Do you feel like Chris is feeling himself? Because I feel like you helped him and he was like on to the next person who can get him further. I wouldn't say Chris was feeling himself. The way I think about this, when people make money, I don't think people change when they make money. I think money enhances who you really are. So Chris has always been a go-getter. He's always been the type of person to, get what he wants when he wants it. And when he got money, it just enhanced that go-getter mentality, that hustle that he's always had. So I don't think he's feeling himself. I think he's maybe more confident in himself, that he feels that, he can do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And back then when he was struggling and trying to establish himself, he was unable to do that. So I don't think there's a huge change in him. I don't think he was feeling himself. I just think who he really was just really got enhanced. How do or did you feel about the females consistently being around your man? I'm a jealous person. I'm very possessive and jealous. And yes, I had a problem with a lot of women being around my man, but I had to trust my man. I had to trust him that the decisions that he was making, he wasn't being disrespectful to our relationship. And that was very hard because I wasn't around a lot of the times, you know. But I had to give him the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't doing nothing inappropriate. And I had to let him earn that trust. And that's you know what we had to do. When you're in bodybuilding or you're in the fitness industry, there's going to be women. So if you don't like it, even if you're not in the fitness industry, any kind of business that a man is in or owning, he's going to be around women. So if a woman has a problem with her man being around other women, she has her own insecurities that she needs to work on, because there's always going to be a woman around your man, whether you like it or not, and vice versa. There's always going to be a man around your woman in whatever job or career that he's in. Or that she's in, sorry. What was your first thought when you met Chris? Who's this big head ass nigga? And his, no, like when we first met, we was on a date. He was a little shorter than I expected, and I was like, this guy's kind of short. But he was funny as hell. I remember him having me cracking up at the dinner table on our first date. And I was just like, okay, I can see myself, you know, rocking with him, being friends with him, because he was super funny, but short, and had a big head. And I was like, big head, short, but he funny though. I like him. He's cool. So that was my first impression. Why are you still working for Chris? Why are you still working for Chris, and how will you expect to move on to another man if your ex is your boss? Well, if I happen to move on to another man by this year or next year and I'm still working for Chris, he's going to have to accept that this is my income. Unless he is willing to compromise the payment that I'm getting from Chris and pay me what I'm paying or more, then he's going to have to accept that. If that's something he can accept, then he can just keep it pushing, because I'm not going to let anybody dictate and tell me where I can work and who I can work with. And this is how I make my living. This is how I pay my bills. So if you're not going to step in and take over and pay my bills, then you have no control about who I'm going to work with and where. And why I'm still working with Chris? Because I need a job and I like my job. I'm happy with my job. I make my own schedule. I come and go as I please. I work the way I want to work. I don't really have to answer to nobody. Every now and then I, share some details with Chris, but for the most part, I run that place by myself. I rarely, have to go to Chris and ask him to make these kind of decisions, because he trusts me that the decisions that I make are going to be beneficial. So I don't know any other job that you can just make those kind of moves and expect everything to be gravy, because I've worked for In-N-Out Burger for 10 years, and trust and believe, being a manager for a company that is not yours is hectic. You really get taken advantage of. So I work for a company, yes, I work for a business that is not mine, but I've helped Chris build this business, been on his side, his ride or die, his backbone with this business. So it's my baby as well. So I treat it like it's mine, and I enjoy working there. That's why I stay working with Chris. Did you ever catch Chris cheating on you? Or did you ever have thoughts about it? I never caught Chris cheating on me. Did I have thoughts? Yes. And the reason why I had thoughts was just like any other woman whose man is always out and about and coming home at late times or always traveling without you. You start to build those thoughts in your head like, well, what if there's somebody else out there? And it's just normal. Even though you want to trust him, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you got to look at some things that were drawing up red flags in our relationship in 2016. He was always out, always. I thought he was a rapper, like he always was in the club. And I felt like sometimes that, he might have, cheated, I don't know. I never caught him. But it was in the back of my mind. But sometimes I had to talk myself through it, like, hey, Denise, you can't control nobody. I can't control Chris. I can't control any man. If a man is going to cheat, he's going to cheat. So you just cannot worry about it. You can't get you upset. You can't dwell on it. Whatever a man or a woman or whoever in a relationship, they're going to do whatever the hell it is that they want to do. Whatever they do in the dark, it will come to the light eventually. And whenever it does come to the light, you have that option, whether if you want to stay or if you want to go. But I'm not going to sit in this house and worry about that man and worry about what he's doing and who he's doing, because I'm going to drive myself crazy and insane. And that's what I was not trying to do. So there were thoughts, like I said, that crossed my mind, but I had to keep myself sane and keep myself busy and keep myself off of his goddamn Instagram page and just keep it pushing and do what I needed to do for myself. If Chris proposed, would you accept? I don't know. I do want to get married to Chris, only if I felt that him marrying me was something that he truly wanted to do, and not in a selfish way. Meaning, I don't want no other man to have you, so I'm just going to marry you because I don't want no other man to have you. But I'm still going to, go to the club and act like I'm a bachelor, and I'm still going to be out, with my friends and doing all this other stuff, and you're not going to be a priority for me, but you're going to be my wife. I just don't want to just get married. And in that case, I can marry any Tom, Dick, and Harry, but I want to get married, and I want Chris to want to get married. I want him to see me as his wife. If he does not see me as his wife, I'm not going to marry him, because it's pointless. You're only marrying me because of selfish reasons. And I would say no. But if Chris came to me with a proposal, and I know for a fact that he's proposing to me because he wants to be with me, he sees me as his wife, he does not see himself with anybody else, I will say yes in the quickness. Do you think you should have given Chris more time? I've gave Chris 4 years. He still don't know what he wants. He's still confused. He still didn't know if he wanted to get married or have kids. I'm not going to sit here and wait for mother effer to figure out what it is that he wants to do with when it comes to getting married and having kids. What if I sit here and wait 10 years for this man to think about getting married and having kids? I'm damn near 40. I can't have kids now. Chris has stated multiple times over and over and over again that he does not want to have kids, and he does not want to get married. He's even made a video about why he doesn't want to get married and why it's not for him. So why would I sit and wait for a person any longer than I already did? After the first year, and he told me that, maybe we'll get married. And then at the second year, it kept one excuse after another excuse. Well, let me get my business, together. Okay, business got together. Or well, let me make a certain amount of money. Let me get a certain amount of money saved. A certain amount of money got saved. Well, let me, get my business to where people are helping us with the business. That got done. Every excuse in the book, the reason why we didn't get married. So obviously he doesn't want it. And I'm done forcing him. I'm not trying to manipulate him no more about it. I'm not trying to force him about it. This man has told me in my face and into his family that he does not see himself getting married. I will not continue to keep waiting and hoping and praying that this nigga change his mind, because he's not. He doesn't want it. So I'm not going to give him any more time. Would you consider trying it again with Chris? Since he doesn't agree with marriage, doesn't mean y'all can't have a healthy, long-lasting relationship, and kids could be worked out because somebody has to take care of the business. Well, you can scratch off the kids, because that's not what he wants. He's told me multiple times, he's told his family multiple times that that's not something he sees himself being a father. And that's fine. Not everybody is capable of being a father, or not everybody has to be a dad or a mom. When you see people out there in the world and you see them with kids, and their kids look like half shit, they dressed all messed up, the baby's hair is all messed up, saggy diaper, can't clean their face, they not instilling any value into their kids, no education into their kids, no time and love. Those are the people who don't want kids. I'm not saying Chris is that kind of father, but if a man is telling you he doesn't want something, why would you force him to have something? He's not going to take care of it the way you want him to take care of the baby. I'm not forcing no man to have a child by me if that's not what he wants. He has to want this. If he says, I don't want it, I'm not having no baby. I'm not going to force you to be a parent, because then you're going to be a bad parent. And then your kids are going to grow up hating you. Like he said in his video, my kids don't like me. Yeah, because you know why your kids don't like you? Because you're not a good father, because you didn't want them in the first place. And then, yeah, I agree. Me and Chris can have a happy longevity, me and Chris could have a long, happy, lasting boyfriend and girlfriend relationship without getting married. But that's not what I want. I don't want to just be a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Shit, anybody can be boyfriend and girlfriend. I want an important title. I want to be a wife. That says something about you. Says something about your character. You know what I'm saying? That's like me being at a job, doing all the manager shit. And then you don't want to give me the title. You don't want to give me that pay raise. You don't want to give me those benefits. But you want me to give you benefits of a wife, but you don't want to make me a wife. So you want me to act like a manager, but you don't want to give me that manager position. No, fuck that. If you want me to be a girlfriend, that's exactly how I'm going to act, like a girlfriend. And so all the ladies out there, if you're in a boyfriend and a girlfriend relationship and you're acting like a wife, stop that shit. I guarantee you're setting yourself up for failure. I did it, and it did not work in my favor. I thought if I acted like a wife and showed this man that I could be a wife and I had wife material, that he would marry me. Look where we at. 4 years down the drain, not married. So it does not matter. If a man does not want it, he don't want it. Cut it out. Either you leave or you find you a man who wants to get married, or you stay and just be happy, but you act like your title. You act like a girlfriend. You don't make him your priority and your everything and your top 3 priorities. You cut that shit out, because it doesn't work that way. And I thought that it did, and it doesn't. I learned the hard way, wasted time. And, I might be a little, bitter about it, but shit, it is what it is. But I don't think that me and Chris, I'm not trying to be a girlfriend. No, just cut it. I'm not trying to just only be a girlfriend. I'm 30 years old. I want to be a wife. That's what I want. I want to be a wife to a man that loves me, cares about me, wants to be with me, wants me to be his wife. And it's just that simple. Do you feel like you were being taken for granted in your relationship? Whew, that's a tough one. There were times where I did feel like I wasn't appreciated. Did I feel like I was taken for granted? Maybe. I felt like everything was always about Chris, and it was Chris's world and I was living in it. There were times that I felt like that. I'm not saying that is how that's how it was. I'm just saying that there were points in time in our relationship where I felt that I was living in Chris's world, and that, we weren't a power couple. We weren't a couple that were building each other. I felt like I was only building him. And that's my fault, because I allowed it. I allowed it to happen, and I failed myself. I should just been focusing on myself and building Denise. I'm building a man future because I thought that we were going to have a future together as husband and wife, that we were going to build this empire for our family. Like I said before, it's something that I should have recognized a long time ago, and I should have stopped it, and I should have just said, you know what, do what you need to do for yourself, and I'm gonna do what I need to do for me. But instead, I kept going, and I got lost, and I got caught up in his goals, his ambition, his dreams, his life, and I had neglected mine. I forgot all about mine. And then when we went our separate ways, I was like, oh shit, I gotta worry about me now. And it's a weird feeling almost, because I gave 4 years up to worrying about somebody else. And women, we just need to, women, people in general, not just women, but people in general, when you start to feel yourself slipping into that person's world, and you're being neglected, and you're not being neglected, but you're not focusing on you, you need to stop yourself and take a breath and take a couple steps back, because you're going to lose yourself into that person and into them, and that they are only interested in themselves because they are the stronger ones. They're like, hey, I'm focusing on me right now. Nobody's going to get in the way of me. And if you guys heard Chris say that all the time, nobody or nothing is going to stop this man from getting his goals in check and achieved. So you need to have that same mindset. Do you think Chris is selfish by not wanting kids and not wanting to get married? No, I don't think Chris is selfish. Marriage and kids is not for everybody. It is something that people have to want. And Chris has said in his last video, on his last Raw and Uncut, that divorce rate was high, and it is high. I felt that Chris had already divorced us before we got married. That's how I felt. I felt that he had divorced us before we got married. I felt that he had made up in his mind that we weren't going to last 20 years because he was going to end up cheating, because I didn't make him feel like he's young again, like this young ass woman who just finessed him at the goddamn bar. So yeah, I don't think he's selfish. I just think that he is a man who knows what he wants. And those are the men that you need to appreciate, in a sense, because they're telling you this is not what I want. So now you have the choice to either stay or leave. And Chris has told me the past year and 2 years. Well, I should have picked up on it when it kept, every excuse that I kept getting every year was an excuse. And then the last year, when he finally came out and told me, yeah, you know what, I ran out of excuses. So I'm just going to be 100% honest. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. That's when I made that decision for myself. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to get up out of here. I need to do something. I need to move out, or I need to move on to something else, or, let this relationship go, because I don't have good years. I'm not in my primes no more. I'm in my 30s. 10 more years, I could be hitting menopause. So I have 10 years left to find a good man who wants to get married and wants to have kids with me, because that is what I want. I have 10 years. I don't have 20. I have 10. So I appreciate the honesty, because if that's not what he wants, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine. So I appreciate the fact that he told me, look, it's not what I want. That's good. I'm glad. Thank you. Now I can move forward. You move forward, So I don't think he was selfish. It's just that it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And also too, for the people were in the comment section saying, society thinks that you should get married and don't listen to society. Okay, y'all shut the hell up, because people pick and choose what they want to follow in society. Okay? Just like people pick and choose what the hell they want to obey in the Bible. You pick and choose what you want to follow in society. Some people pick marriage. Some people pick school. Some people pick owning their own business. Some people pick for working for other people. You pick whatever the hell it is that you want to pick in your life, that you want to follow, that society has set for everybody to follow. Just like people said, the only way you can get a better job and be more successful is if you go to school and get a degree. And I know a lot of people who never went to school and are successful. Chris is one of them, and he didn't need to go to school. I'm not against school. Don't get that twisted. I'm for going to school. I'm for bettering yourself in your education. But what I'm trying to say is, don't sit there and say society is forcing you to get married and all this and other crap. No, in life, you pick and choose what you want to follow in society. Because I guarantee half of y'all spend thousands of dollars going to school to get a degree in a goddamn major that you're never probably going to use. So whatever. But like I said, I'm not opposed to school. I'm not saying that school is a waste of time and a waste of money. I do think that going to school makes sense if you want to become a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, or a pharmacist, or whatever the case may be. Some careers require schooling, and I understand that. And then there's some jobs that I feel like you don't need to require school for, but they make you do it anyway. But society tells you you need that education, so you do it, and education is always good to have anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to go to school, go to school for education, but damn sure don't do it because you think that you're going to get a better job or you're going to have a better life, because that's not 100% true. Do you know the Ohio bitch story? Yes, I know the Ohio bitch story. And I don't know why Chris won't tell y'all, because the story is really lame. He could just tell y'all. But for some reason, I guess he likes giving you guys that mystery of not knowing what really happened. He told me what happened. But again, these are what he's telling me. I don't know if it's really true, because the Ohio bitch story was way before I came in the picture. How did Chris and I meet? Well, me and Chris met on an online dating site called OkCupid. Hey, and we met on there. We talked for a few weeks before we exchanged numbers, and then we talked for like a month through via text, and then we met up for dinner at Black Eyed Peas down the street from our house. And ever since we went there, we ate, had a great time, and then we went to Fox and Hound to have a couple drinks and chill, and we were just friends from there. I friend zoned him for a good few months. No cookie, no nothing for a good few months. Because I wanted to fill him out. And he came over one day. I think we were just dating, hanging out. And he came over one day and he was like, look, I want to date you, I want to hold you, and I want to fuck you. And I was like, okay. He was like, so you need to stop friend zoning me, because if you're going to continue to be friends, we can be friends, but I'm moving on. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we could start dating. And then we started dating, becoming, in a relationship. And one day I was telling him that I was painting my walls, and he came over from the gym, from the gym, and he painted my walls, stay up to like 4 or 5 in the morning, painting my walls for me. And I said, you know what? You, sir, you deserve the cookie. So I gave I gave that ass up that night at 5. I think it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And that's how I was. I was like, you know what? Oh, I hope my daddy ain't watching this, because I don't want him to. I hope he don't. I'm gonna tell him not to watch part 2. But anyway, so that is it for part 2. That is it for me and Chris. You guys got a little bit more of an insight about how I feel about everything. I'm very passionate when it comes to my relationships, and I'm very passionate when it comes to my family. So you might have saw me getting a little, upset, because these things were very sensitive to me. I always wanted to get married, and I've always wanted to have a family, because I am a very family oriented person. I wanted everything in life. I wanted a successful business. I wanted to travel. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to be married. I thought that me and Chris were going to have the fucking world. I thought we were about to get married. I thought we were about to have kids. I thought we were about to travel with our family. I thought we were about to, have this business and just run it as a power couple and be the Joneses and just tear shit up. No, that was a fairy tale. No, he wanted to be Chris Jones, Denise Stevens, and travel every now and then he go back and forth to LA and wherever the hell he want to go with his homeboys, and leave me at home most of the time, and then just be a homebody, just be there when he comes home. And we'll take a trip here and there every now and then, and just me and Bruno just live our simple, boring ass life. And I was like, nigga, no, I got bigger plans than this. I thought we was about to be a power couple. I thought we was about to be Beyonce and Jay-Z for fitness. Michelle and Barack Obama up in here. I'm trying to rule the world with you. But, you just want to be regular ass boyfriend and girlfriend with Bruno. And that's just a lifestyle that I didn't see myself in. And maybe it made him happy, but it was making me unhappy. And him being married to me, feeling that he was going to lose everything one day, and being stuck with kids that he thought that wasn't going to like him, sounded miserable to him, and something that he didn't want. And as much as I love Chris, and I'm sad that we're not together, and it hurts me that we're not together, you can't make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. And you just move forward. You move forward with your life. It's a hiccup. in life, but you move forward, you keep it pushing, and that's all you can do. So at this point, the only thing he can do is continue to do what he's doing for himself and his business. And the only thing I can do is continue to build my foundation and, you know, see where God takes me and just go from there. And at the end of the day, I think that me and Chris will probably still be really good friends, or we might just venture off and never speak to each other again. I don't know. I don't know what God has in store for us. I don't know. God could change his heart one day and he wakes up and he wants to get married and have kids. I don't know. Or God can change my heart and desire, and I might wake up one day and not want to get married and have kids neither, and just like, hey, fuck it, I just want to be with you. You know, there's no telling. I just know that what I feel right now and in my heart right now is I want to have a successful business. I want to travel the world with my family. I want a family and I want a husband. Those are the things that I want in my life that I see for myself. And I would not let anybody stop me from getting there. And that goes for Chris. I love this man with all my heart, and I would have did anything for him. But I'm not going to let him drag me into a relationship and he be the only one happy. And I don't think nobody should do that for nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money they make. I don't care how long they've been in your life. I don't care what the things that they've done for you. If you are not 100% happy, and then you should leave. Or find something else. Or find something that's going to make you happy. But I was happy with myself. But as far as the relationship, I felt that everything else was growing but me and him. The business was growing. The money was growing. He was growing. He was getting bigger and muscular. But us together, we weren't growing. We were stuck. And I felt like everything was growing around us and building and succeeding but me and him. And that bothered me. And I wanted it to change, and it never changed. And I've nagged him about it. I've cried about it. I've bugged and begged, and things would change for temporarily, but they'll go right back to the same, ways. And then one day I just got tired. I got fed up. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this because I've talked long enough. And so don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I'll see you guys on another cooking video. Bye.